Welcome to this week's edition of Pinellas Courtside Connection. I am Kevin Fisher, and I'm joined by our co-host, Laquana Jones, as we bring you all the latest scores, results, and stories from around Pinellas County basketball scene. This week, we have an exciting show where we'll check in on our latest top 10 rankings for both the boys and girls teams here in Pinellas County. And later in the show, we'll have a special guest join us for our first interview on Pinellas Courtside Connection, as we have a chance to catch up with Clearwater's Nico Simes. Certainly a jam-packed lineup, so let's dive right into the conversation. Laquana, we're 3 weeks into the basketball season. Kind of hard to believe, but we still have so much basketball ahead of us. How would you best sum up the boys' scene here in Pinellas County so far?
Yes, we do, Kevin. A lot of basketball ahead of us. For the past 3 weeks, there have been a lot of talent across Pinellas County. And I can say these boys play very hard, tough to be the best that they can be in Pinellas County. I have enjoyed watching several of the boys' basketball teams as well as the girls battle it out on the court. So we got some pretty good talent going on here in Pinellas County, and I'm excited to see more of the teams play and battle it out on the court because, no one likes to lose, right, Kevin?
No doubt, no doubt. I think the one thing that's really stood out this year is you check in on the results as they come in. It's the parity across the county is unmatched. I don't recall it being this close top to bottom in the competition side in the recent years. But this year, man, it seems like anybody can beat anybody on any given night.
I agree. There's a lot of teams that it's up and down. So you never know who's going to win the battle on the court each night. Some teams are ahead of other teams as far as games played. So it's kind of hard at times to say who's going to be at the top or the bottom. But so far, it's been going well. And I'm excited to see a lot more of Pinellas County basketball.
Absolutely. Similar on the girls' side. I think year in and year out, the top echelon, the top tier on the girls' side has been pretty consistent. You've had Lakewood, most recently Gibbs. Last few years has really been a powerhouse. But then you have Clearwater and Keswick battling right neck and neck as the top tier goes. I think we've had two surprises though this year. That's kind of two teams bursting onto the scene. You have Countryside, who's really had a balanced guard play that's really powered them towards the top tier on the girls' side. And CCC undefeated, hard to believe, but the Marauders really have it going on the girls' side as well. As we go, why don't we take a look at our latest top 10 rankings? Certainly had some movement this week, but the one constant, top two teams stay the same. Lakewood stays at 1, Gibbs at number 2. You had a chance to catch Gibbs in action this week, Laquana. You saw Gibbs play Clearwater. What were your takeaways from that game?
Yes, I did. My takeaways from that game is it wasn't a lot of shooting going on. It was a lot of running up and down the court, fast breaks, getting easy buckets on the court. So it wasn't a lot of outside open shots going on the court. It was a lot of I would say scrappiness more than, setting up plays, running plays, getting good looks and stuff. But it was a very fast-paced game, which I would say. And Gibbs do have some good, tough girls. I mean, they're tough. They play hard. They get up and down the court, and they fight till the end. Clearwater, on the other hand, has shooters on their team, and it was very hard for them to get shots off because of Gibbs' defense and scrappiness. So it was a little frustrating for them. And for them, they do need a true point guard versus Gibbs has that advantage because they do have a true point guard on Gibbs. So Clearwater has their hands full. I'm wishing them the best, both teams down the stretch, because Clearwater is a shorter team. They did lose a lot of their seniors. So you got some young girls, the young freshmen that's playing down low on Clearwater. And then you got Olivia, which is a sophomore, and then Pinky's still a junior. So they're still growing and learning at the same time, but they do have a great coach to get them where they need to be. But it's still the beginning of the season. So we'll see what happens on down the stretch. Same as Gibbs. They have a young team too,
Yeah.
and well coached by their coach as well. So I'm excited to see where the girls go.
Yeah, Coach Codson's done a great job over at Gibbs, and Coach Dublin, the staple in Pinellas County. Certainly, we know he's going to have his teams ready. That run and gun style. The Gibbs is kind of able to set the tempo, kind of gives them an
Yes.
advantage. Where Clearwater is still trying to, I don't want to say find their identity, but just to continue to build on it. I think they do a great job. They got some young girls, but some girls with some great Final Four experience already. Just trying to fill those gaps from those
Yes.
7 seniors that moved on. So with that,
I agree.
we look at the rest of the top 5 there. Clearwater moves up, I think deservedly so, into the number 3 spot. I think a combination of Clearwater's early challenges and early success. Also, Keswick, who was at 3 last week, dropped 2 tough games this week. I had a little bit more gray hair after our 2 games. We had a close one with Academy of Holy Names. It was within a 4-point game late in the 3rd quarter, and then lost a nail biter to Tampa Prep the other night, where things just couldn't go our way. And what was a 1-point game and ended up being decided by 3. But with that, Keswick drops down to 5, and CCC, as we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, undefeated and moving up into that number 4 spot. They're doing a great job with the addition of Taylor Beddinghouse in the middle, a beach volleyball player going to the University of Tampa, but also obviously a talented rebounder and able to really score the buckets for the Marauders. Number 6 coming in, Countryside's guard play, Allie Wright and Julia Smith done a great job keeping the Lady Cougars in the front running. I think you look at 7 through 10, and you could probably make an argument that order can be flip-flopped and changed every which way. But it's still early, as you said, and still trying to get a good sense of identity for these teams. But some exciting basketball ahead. It makes it that much more exciting. If you take a look at that second half of the top 10 there, anything that stands out to you, Laquana, you're looking forward to seeing as the rest of the year goes?
Well, on East Lake, they have Avery Chapman. That's been their go-to girl. She's been the shooter and the leader of that team at East Lake. Week after week, she's helping her team win victories over there. And same thing with Largo, with Michaela Pascal. She's the leader of their team, and she does everything she can to help her team win as well. So like you said, those last few teams can flip-flop at any time, because Calvary has great players as well as Palm Harbor. So that's very hard, very hard.
It may take a little bit of heat on the social media channels, dropping Largo down 2 spots, because I know Michaela Pascal checked in with a unbelievable week, averaging over 26 points and 15 rebounds. I don't think it's so much of her performance, more so having Calvary jump out to a 4-1 start. A little bit of an unknown team with Calvary being so young. Certainly not a knock on Largo or Pascal at all, because the effort has been outstanding.
Yes, I agree.
Now, why don't we take a jump over to the boys' top 10? I'll allow you to lead the charge. I know you saw Gibbs in action this week. Always tough. They seem to always be adding key pieces. What were your takeaways from seeing Gibbs in action? Certainly a top team in the county.
Well, the takeaway for me for Gibbs, they main shooter is number 5 on Gibbs. That's the O'Neal Delaney kid. He's a sophomore, a freshman. I'm sorry, 6'2" guard, freshman point guard at Gibbs. He scored majority of their points. He had like 21 points that game. But he also the whole team is tall. From 6 foot to maybe 6'9" to 7 foot. on Gibbs. So they have the size, the width. They can get up and down the court. They defend very well on the team, and then also they play hard. Clearwater played hard as well, but they're lacking in height. So with Nico playing point guard, you got Brooks handling the ball a little bit, so it's some switch around on the Clearwater team, also still trying to find the good placements for some of the kids and ball handling. And down low it was a challenge for them to box out Gibbs players and try and capitalize on some scoring. But it was a good game to see how Clearwater matched up against Gibbs and to see the talent that Gibbs have over there, because they do have the talent, but all their players are skilled. They're all athletic, as well as Clearwater. They're all athletic. And it was a great Saturday to watch the boys play and the girls play under the same gym and battle it out. The same thing as they did last year. They were down at Gibbs High School. They played down there last year, and then this year they brought it up to Clearwater.
Yeah, what a great ticket for basketball too in Pinellas County. You get four blockbuster games. You get 2 JV teams battling it out, and then the varsity games right after. So you could really probably the best ticket in town to catch 4 great games.
So at number 2 we have East Lake. East Lake, oh man, this team is they're just firing it up over there at East Lake. They have several players on their team that can shoot each week. Jeremiah Cooper, he had a career high of 35 points and 5 or 6 assists.
Wow.
Brody Church is another high scorer on East Lake team. So Anthony Brown as well. So they all contribute to making their team to keep winning games. Jeremiah is a sophomore at East Lake. He handles the ball as well. And Brody, he's a 2-sport player, so he plays football as well. So moving on, at number 3, we got Seminole Warhawks over there. They at 4-3. We got St. Pete, number 4. Number 5, we have Lakewood. At number 6, we have Cavalry. 7, we have Bogosiega. 8, Osceola. 9, Clearwater. And 10, Lakeside Christian.
Debut for the Lakeside Christian Lions in the top 10. Sliding in there. They played a lot of games early in the season. They had a chance to get a rematch against Countryside last week, a team they lost to earlier in the year, but were able to bounce back and steal that victory. And the rematch also lost a tough one. I think it was Brooks DeBartolo, a double overtime game. But man, Lakeside's young, but they're tough. Then they don't back. The thing I really look forward to seeing is they're not backing down from any challenges, and they're kind of diving full on into the season, going at it early and often. I think as we look at the top 10, there's probably about 5 or 6 other teams on the outside of the top 10 that could make a case to be inside the top 10. You look around the county. I mean, Hollins is off to a 7-1 start, the best start that they've had in a number of years. Coach Loster's done a great job getting their team ready. They have a big game this week against Seminole. Kind of gives them a chance to get that staple win if they can, or at least to see how they size up. I know they lost a close one with Lakewood earlier in the year. Then the other one that really stood out to me, CCC. I don't know what they're doing in the rims over there at the dome, but 11-0 combined between the girls team and the boys team. The boys team's undefeated as well. It's always tricky to judge though, because with CCC coming off of, they're always going to have a deep football run, so you're never really sure who's going to be on that roster for the football side of it, and their schedule can be a little bit lighter in the start of the year, and totally understand that. Not a knock on them. It's just the way that the season goes. I think there's one team that we all need to keep an eye on. It's a bit of an unknown. It's a very unknown. That's Admiral Farragut. They have a completely new roster. I think they have one holdover from last year in Vuk Leverich. I probably butchered his name. Sorry, Vuk, but big kid that does a really great job for them. And get your pencils out on this one. But Danilius Jelembauskis from Lithuania, talking with one of their assistant coaches tonight. Kid lit up for 27 points against Winthrop in his first game. Nursing a bit of an ankle injury, so we'll see how he goes this week. But Admiral Farragut with games against Lakeside, Hollins, Cardinal Mooney, and Bogey this week. So a four-game week, which will give us a good sense of who Admiral Farragut is, but certainly a team to watch one way or another. Well, as we look into the chat window here, I guess I hear Nico is knocking on the door, ready to join us for an interview. Nico, if he's here, I'd love to have him step up to the mic and get a chance to catch up with the Clearwater point guard. Nico, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Great to have you. I know you guys had a tough game this week, but it's always good to get those big tests in early in the season. Why don't you just take a second, just to introduce yourself, share a little bit about yourself as a basketball player and as a student.
My name is Nico Simes. I attend Clearwater High School. I'm a senior, and I play point guard. I really play 1 through 4, but my primary position would be point guard.
Okay, Nico. So can you tell us? Okay, how did you first get into playing basketball?
I first got into playing basketball was my dad used to coach at Sorecrest High School for girls varsity, and when I was younger, I would go up to their practice and like run around as a little kid and shoot the basketball. And sometimes I would even practice with them or like do some ball handling drills. And then ever since that, all the way up to middle school, that's when I started trying out for a middle school team, and I started joining AAU teams. And then ever since then, I've just been going along with that.
Okay, so what is your greatest strength as a basketball player?
As a basketball player, I would say, and my dad also says it a lot, would be my speed and the way I can defend 1 through 5 positions, and just like being a leader on a team and like telling players what spots to be in and stuff like that.
Okay. So how would you describe your playing style?
My playing style, I would describe it as fast but scrappy, but it's at a very fast pace, but it's in control. I'm in control of myself a lot. I know how to use my body and how to use my speed, so I can slow down at times when I need to, and I can speed up at times when I need to.
So what position do you typically play on the court, and why do you think it suits your skill set?
I typically play point guard. I think it suits my skill sets because I've been playing it since I've started playing basketball. And every year, every summer, I've just been training with it and getting better at it. So it transitions into being a leader and having great court awareness and knowing the opposite team's defense, what they're in, and how to just play out of it and read their defense and get a good running offense out of it and good shots up.
And can you discuss a specific game where you made a significant impact on the court?
Yes, I can. I would say that would be last year's rivalry game against Largo. I remember being in that game around halftime. We were down around 15 to 20 points going into halftime. I remember going into that locker room, just giving my team a little speech. And like, I gave them a little speech about how our character needs to be and just not play for the score, but just play for each other. And the result with that game, we ended up winning that game off a buzzer beater, 54 to 53. And I led that team to a win.
Okay. And what is your pregame to get yourself mentally and physically prepared for each game?
Usually in my pregame mentally, I like to get with the team and go out to eat somewhere or chill in the locker room for a little bit. And about an hour or 30 minutes before the JV team plays, I'll go into the training room, get a good stretch in, get any rehab I need done on my body. And then by the time me and the team are watching the JV game, that's when I get locked in and start listening to music. The music is always, it's random, just whatever I'm feeling that day. And we go after we go into the locker room, we listen to music as a team and we stretch as a team. We talk about how the game should go and talk about the defenses when the offense we're playing, and then we just get mentally prepared for the game.
And how would your coaches and teammates describe you?
I would say my coaches and teammates describe me the same way I do. A leader and pretty scrappy. I push my teammates as hard as I can and any possible they can improve on their game. A lot of what they say is, like I said, I push them a lot, but I also acknowledge the good stuff they do. I'm not always like a negative leader. I want to be a positive leader, and I want to make good decisions for the younger guys on my team to be a leader.
Okay. And do you have any offers or colleges looking at you? If
The
so, who?
colleges, if the colleges I have looking at me right now are West Virginia State, Randolph College, Roanoke College, and Washington College. They are all pretty good interests, and two of them are potentially getting offered. They're going through admissions right now.
That's awesome.
Okay. And who is your favorite NBA player and why?
My favorite NBA player as a kid has always been Allen Iverson because he was a shorter guard in the league, but he was very athletic, and he did more stuff just to be a scorer or a point guard. So that was the first person I ever tried to mimic my game to, especially his crossover. I've been doing that crossover since I was a little kid, and even now I still do it, but I'll put a different combination with it. So just as me being an athletic guard, it's just I recognize his game a lot, and I feel like I play a lot like him. So that's just always my favorite NBA player.
Man, Nico, I don't know if anybody gave you any tips on this, but I moved to Florida from Philadelphia and had worked for the 76ers. Got a chance to see Iverson play night in and night out, and man, what a great player on the court to mimic your game after. Seen a lot of highlights of you on the court, and jealous in the sense that you really sound like a quarterback or coach on the court for your guys' team. So what a great opportunity for Clearwater to have you on the court as a leader, both on court and off court. So certainly wish you all the luck this year. I don't know if there are any other questions that you may have, Laquana, before we get going. But I do have to ask: is there a significance to the Memphis flag behind you?
That is my dad's favorite college team.
Gotcha.
Grew up in that area, so he's just been following it.
I got to up my game on my background. I have to blur it out
I
right
have
now.
one
So
more
I got
last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was your thoughts about the Gibbs and Clearwater game from Saturday?
My thoughts about it, me and my team are going in it pretty confident. First quarter, we got a slow start. I think it was 5-0, but our coach called a great timeout to get our minds right. He just told us to take it in, calm down. It was obviously nerves going on with people on the team, but we just took that time out to calm down. And at the first quarter and throughout the first half, we started getting our minds right, playing scrappy, playing how we were supposed to be. A lot of our shots just weren't going in the first half, and then second half, went into the locker room during halftime, got our minds right again, talked with the team a little bit about what can we do to improve our game and just chip at the lead a little more. And went in the second half just playing with the extra kick in our step and just not settling for so much threes. We're trying to get to the paint a lot and get to the free throw line a lot. I think we did that good. We did take the open threes we needed to, but just how the game was going, they weren't falling, but we took the good shots we needed to. Just came short.
Yeah.
As you look ahead to the rest of the season, I know it's one game at a time, but are there any games that you're really looking forward to that you kind of have circle on the schedule, a little bit more emphasis than the next one?
No, not really. We always say we don't circle nobody, everybody circles us. That's always been our little thing at Clearwater.
It's awesome. A great mindset.
Well, thank you, Nico. I want to thank you for joining us this evening and us getting a chance to interview you and know you a little bit more as the senior at Clearwater High point guard. We wish you luck down the stretch. I know it's just the beginning of y'all's season. It's a lot more basketball to play. So we're excited to see you continue to grow and be the best version of Nico Simes you can be.
Thank you.
Kevin, you got anything?
I look forward to seeing the AI cross Nico's version of it. Good luck the rest of the year, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Really interesting hearing from him, just his perspective as, kind of being a leader on the court. I have not had a chance to get to see him play too much other than some highlights and some video, but what an opportunity for Nico to really showcase his talent. Look forward to seeing him. Any other takeaways from his game when you saw him play, Laquana? He seems like a great kid. I mean, just in the brief time we got to talk with him.
He's really a great young man. Yeah. I agree with you, Kevin. He is a really great young man at Clearwater High. Into his senior year, he has grown into a role model, a leader of the team. He takes over. He talks to his teammates. His game has come alive and come a long ways. He does what he can do to help his team win. He gets to the basket. He shoots the open shots. He plays defense. He hustles. He even rebounds. So he can do all five, but he handles the ball majority of the time as the point guard at the team because, of course, on the college level, that's probably what he would be playing is point guard. But he is a great young man, and he's absolutely a great player to watch.
That's awesome. It's Nico Simes from Clearwater. I think one of the other takeaways just from hearing him talk is it was always about the emphasis is always on the team. He didn't, I think he was almost any chance he could get to talk about his teammates. That really stood out. He had an opportunity to talk about himself a little bit, of course, but truly a team leader, and look forward to seeing them progress as the season goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a team player. He's not selfish at all. He likes to get all his teammates involved in the game because you cannot win a game without your team. So he always involved them, even though that they're young and he's a senior on the team. He does definitely keeps his team, involved.
That was great hearing from Nico Simes. As we look ahead to the week ahead of us, some big games on tap. Certainly plenty of basketball going around, 52 teams all in action this week. Why don't we go to take a look at the games coming up. The girls or the boys games to start. Tuesday, that's another big matchup. We have Boca Ciega traveling to Gibbs for a matchup. Coach Kaysen has done a great job with Bogey getting the boys ready. What are some of the things you look forward to in that one?
Yeah, that's a big matchup. Bogey has a really good team, strong players that can shoot the ball as well as Gibbs. So that's going to be a really good tough game. I think it's going to be a pretty good close scoring game as well, because both teams do have some shooters on the team, but Bogey Ciego has definitely came a long ways, and so that's going to be one of the games of the week. Bogey and Gibbs.
Certainly.
Then we have Thursday,
Yep.
the 14th, East Lake at Countryside. That's another good matchup. East Lake definitely has shooters on the team, always have had some good shooters on the team. The Countryside coach is doing a great job over there as well, as he's been building the last couple of years. He's been at Countryside, so that's going to be another great matchup as well.
Yeah,
and
East
then we
Lake
have Seminole and Osceola. What do you say, Kevin? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say with East Lake, it seems like they have a different leading scorer each night. So just that balanced attack kind of drive teams crazy, give headaches, and that's a tough matchup for Countryside early in the year. But I know Countryside lost their 5 leading scorers from last year, and they're battling with the best of the best in the county already. Really fun, creating that new identity. Go ahead over to Friday's game. What do you see there, Laquana?
That's a battle. That's another matchup team. I'm sure they're going to battle it out. Seminole and Osceola on Friday. They are right down the street from each other, so that's a rivalry game for Seminole and Osceola. Coach Walker does a really good job year after year with his team and his program, and then the new Osceola coach that's been there the last couple of years. I haven't gotten to meet him yet, but that's on my to-do list to get over there and meet him, because I've been watching him for the last couple of years as well, and he has a really good team and talent on his team also, because he has Talon Brooks that averages like 17 points per game that transferred over to Osceola. So that's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, Coach Eddie's done a great job. I know he was at Indian Rocks before and moved over to Osceola. We get a chance to see him play a lot with during the Keswick Summer League, because they play in our summer league. It's crazy because it seems like every year he's trying to squeeze 2 teams into the league, because he's got so many guys that are wanting to play and lining up to play for him. So it's a good problem to have, especially last year with graduating 11 seniors. I'll be perfectly honest. That's not a game I would want to coach against on senior night. We're going to the locker room and waiting for the 15-minute presentation. I can only imagine what that was like for the senior night.
I agree with you, Kevin. These are some great matchups this week, so I definitely be out there at the gym watching some of these games.
Yeah, you got some other games on tap too. I know not highlighted in the graphic. You see, look down on the ticker there. You got Hollins gets the matchup with Seminole earlier in the week. Really Hollins has done a great job in the early running, looking for that staple win or looking for a good chance to compete against a top level team. Battled with Lakewood earlier in the year. I think it was an 8-point game. Look forward to seeing how the Royals play out on that one for sure. And then Lakeside and Admiral Farragut. Again, Lakeside's young and tough. I have not had a chance to see them play in person yet. Normally will a couple times throughout the year. Anything from that Lakeside Farragut game you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I watched some of the highlights of Lakeside playing East Lake, and that was a really good game also, even though Lakeside did take a loss. And Lakeside has a young team. Nijuan Harris is in the 8th grade. He's playing on the varsity team at Lakeside. So he's hitting double digits and scoring on a team. So he is a big help to Lakeside. Christian. Haven't seen much of Amara Farragut play, but I've been hearing some pretty good things over there at that program as well. So I'm looking forward to going out and watching them play.
Yeah, Admiral Farragut with just having the boarding school element of the school really took a hit during COVID and restrictions on what they could and couldn't do. Now have a full lineup of guys that may not be familiar to the area, but I think we'll quickly learn their names and look forward to following them. And remember, Danilius Jelembauskis from Lithuania, from Admiral Farragut. I might be able to get it right by the end of the season, but it'll be fun to watch him in action. Why don't we throw it over the girls' games to watch? We got our hands full, a full lineup. We got looking up to Thursday on the 14th. Largo at Eastlake. I think it's the two leading scorers in the county going head to head, with Avery Chapman over at Eastlake averaging over 20 points a game, and Michaela Pascal, the county's leading scorer, averaging a double-double. You saw her in action earlier in the year. What do you look to for this one?
I'm looking for to see how her post moves, how she worked the post down low, because she can definitely shoot outside at the high wing. She can dribble the ball. She's a 1-through-5 player, but she definitely has a tough game down low as well and getting to the basket. So I'm looking forward to see how she matches up against Eastlake, because I know they have tough girls over there too that's actually pretty strong and can shoot the ball and play tough down low, because they try and keep everybody out of their house down low, trying to, get some easy baskets on them. And then I'm just excited to see how they're going to match up in this game.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. Two high scorers going at it. With, of course, their teams meeting head to head. It'll be a good one. Friday, we look over. I'll be there. I promise you that. Clearwater at Keswick. It seems like every year it's just a battle. We took a couple tough losses to Clearwater most recently. We were able to get Keswick was able to end up on top a couple times. But you just never know. Lots of unknowns, lots of new faces, and really looking forward to that matchup with the JV tip-off right before, and followed by the varsity game over at Keswick. So hopefully we can get some people to come out and support, come out to the game. Certainly would love to welcome anybody over at the gym there. Again, it's a busy week at Keswick because we have a game Calvary on Monday, and then we have exams in the middle of the week, and we got sandwiched with Clearwater and Eastlake on Friday and Saturday. So plenty of basketball going on around there. And I do have to apologize because I put this graphic together late, and I'm going to get a earful, I think, from Coach Tunsil and throwing in a Clearwater logo, or it should be Lakewood. But Lakewood's getting a chance to – the phone's ringing. It's coming. Lakewood gets a face an out-of-area team in Spruce Creek. Those, I think they're coming in from North Orange, Florida. So it'll be always interesting when these out-of-area teams come in to face off. It'd be good to see Lakewood back in action. They haven't really played a whole lot of games the last week or so, so always good to catch them in action. I think looking ahead just on some of the other games around the girls. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, with the Lakewood and Spruce Creek team, I'm excited to see how that turns out as well, because Nicole always have a pretty good, tough team, a group of girls that can get up and down the court, get some easy baskets, and knock down some outside shots. So I'm sure it'll be a fast-paced game. So I know Nicole is going to have her team ready for Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. And I love going into the Lakewood gym and playing, even same with Clearwater, just because the atmosphere is always just amped up a little bit more. Lakewood, strategically or not, positions the DJ right behind the visiting team bench, and it's just a great atmosphere to be around. It's really good to see that much energy being put into it. Last year, we went into overtime in their JV game, and maybe it was me, but it seemed like the DJ turned up the volume just a little bit more during their timeouts. We had no idea what we were saying to each other. But in all seriousness, though, what a great atmosphere to be a part of. It's just it's fun place to play. Just in looking quick, another game that I know it wasn't on the graphic or highlighting, but Countryside plays Largo. Largo's got a jam-packed week this week. I think they have 3 back-to-back games against some tough opponents. So really be a telling week for them, a good chance to get a measure. But Countryside back in action. And man, there's so many games around the county. It's hard to pick out just a couple to highlight. Well, we look over Saturday over at Northeast High, the inaugural Rick Baynard Memorial Toy Drive Shootout. Coach Baynard, who has coached over at Northeast for a number of years, had stepped down and just to transition a little bit of a different role from his coaching into teaching and working now, I believe, over at Pinellas Park. Has always found a way to have that community outreach initiative with the toy drive. He's done it for a few years. We had the honor of playing as a JV game as part of the toy drive a few years back with Keswick when I was coaching the boys JV team. And what a great opportunity for everybody to show up and catch some good action in basketball and have an opportunity to give back to the toy drive. I know the toy drive itself, they're asking for a donation of a new unused toy at the gate, and I don't want to be misquoted on this, but I'm pretty sure it's in place of the admission for the day, and you got two big blockbuster matchups: Admiral Farragut and Bogey, 2 teams we know we've talked a little bit about. Get a chance to see my guy Danilius in action against Coach Kaysen, who is a Northeast alumni. So kind of always good to catch those guys coming back home. And then Northeast faces off against Shorecrest in the afternoon in the second game. I think Shorecrest is a team that another one we don't really know a whole lot about yet. They traveled up to Alabama, battled tight neck and neck game with Providence Christian, a number 6 ranked team in 3A up in Alabama, and they have a chance to face off against Northeast. And man, I look at those teams and I know Bogey's the only one in the top 10, but I think all 4 of those teams could be making a top 10 run at some point this year. I don't know. I'm just excited about this matchup. The downside is I can't even make it to the games because we have a game over at Keswick, but I can assure you we'll be finding a way to make a donation over to the toy drive with what Coach Baynard's doing, and a special recognition for referring to it as the inaugural and not the first annual. A bit of a pet peeve of mine that my English teacher would be proud of me for knowing the difference between the two. Not proud about much else with my grades in English, but at least we'll go with the inaugural or first annual. I know that was long-winded, and I'm sorry. Just excited for an opportunity when anytime you have the community give back part of it. I think these kids have such a great platform with basketball, where the games are so important, but the really learning and taking away the memories, the locker room talks, the team huddles, the experience of playing alongside their friends will be the things that they remember most and have opportunities to last a lifetime. Now that I've been long-winded about the toy drive and talking it up, anything you look forward to, Laquana, other than making a run to Five Below or getting the purchase of the toy for the toy drive ahead of play?
No, that's a great opportunity to give back. They're having a toy drive while having a few games going over there to play basketball. You don't see too many teams doing that. So that is a great way to give back to kids that are in need or to help families during the holidays of Christmas time.
Absolutely.
But with all the basketball going on this week, you can't be at 2 places at one time. So you got to kind of pick a game to go and watch and watch them battle it out and try and do the best that you can. And, matching up the teams, and everyone wants to win and play hard and be the best they can be in the county. So it's a lot of talent in Pinellas County, North County, all the way down to the south. So it's just the beginning, 3 weeks in, so we will see what's going to happen mid-season and down the stretch.
Yeah, such an exciting time of year, on top of it being the holidays, but just basketball in general, because I think it really does bring so many people together. You have Christmas tournaments coming up over break, and just an opportunity to catch up and see those teams in action. There's so many good players, so many talented teams that are out there battling for the competition, win on and win out, whether it's the number one spot or whether it's just simply being, as you alluded to with the interview with Nico, being the best version of you. That's the challenge that they all face, and such an important aspect of the game as we go through these lists and we create these players to watch lists. Ultimately, we want to shine a spotlight on these people. It's no disrespect to anybody that's not on the list. Let's have the conversation, bring those names to the forefront. I know we missed them. I know we've missed them in the top 10 list, and we want to hear all your comments, all your insights, and give us tips on teams to watch, and hopefully we can get out and see everybody in action. Anything else in closing you want to add, Laquana, before we sign off?
I'm just proud of Pinellas County talent and the opportunity for us to be able to shine the light on the girls and the boys in Pinellas County area, because they do not get enough of that in our area. So I'm excited to, talk about their talent, the teams, and get them the exposure so they know that we have talent here in Pinellas County as well, besides all the other areas across the state of Florida and other states and counties.
Yeah, looking ahead to next week, just to preview a little bit of what we have coming on tap, looking to have Coach Will White, former Boca Ciega girls coach, former Northeast coach, current referee, come on for an interview. Just kind of opportunity to talk through some of the new rules that are in place this year that we'll see. Might cause some confusion, and just to get his take on how that's impacted the flow of game. And he always has a great perspective on Pinellas County hoops because he's been following it for so many years. And we'll get a chance to take a look at some of the Christmas tournaments that are coming up over Christmas break. Again, another great opportunity to catch some teams in action. I know Kesik's hosting a 16-team, 8 boys, 8 girls tournament on December 28th, 29th, and 30th. It'll include Clearwater, CCC, and Kesik going battling for the championship on the girls' side, and the boys' side is a loaded bracket buster full of matchups as well. We'll share that, and on the Sun Bash and all the other tournaments that are going on in the area. But just in closing, thank you to Totem Pole Nation for hosting this podcast and conversation on StreamYard. Great opportunity to talk hoops. I know I look forward to it every week. I remind our kids that you have the next hour to be quiet in the background as we get to talk hoops in Pinellas County. But a great opportunity, and I always look forward to catching up with you, Laquana, and look forward to seeing everybody next week. And we'll hopefully see you, the fans, out and about at a game, or please stop by, say hello, drop us a note, share your comments, share your feedback, good, bad, and indifferent. We want to hear it all. So thank you all. Thank you again to Totem Pole Nation for hosting tonight. Signing off for Pinellas Courtside Connection. Have a great night.